Hello, everybody. Hopefully we're live. Hello, Laurie Elderkin. Hello, Happy Hippie. Glad you
That's
could come.
Robin.
Oh, Robin. Oh, hello, Robin. Hello, Laurie. Thank you all for coming. Happy Favor Friday, or whenever you watch this, may favor be with you. And remember, the thoughts and opinions expressed by us, the hosts, our opinions, and not necessarily our exact opinions at the moment. We're just experimenting things and just seeing how we can think about different perspectives of different topics. And the subjects we have are only for information only. No legal or health or personal advice come in this. And it's your responsibility for looking in these topics yourself. These are just us expressing our ideas and basically opening our minds to different sides of a topic. Nothing too serious. If we do get a little bit serious, it's just because we're looking at a subject and going deeper into it. But again, sometimes you got to look at a subject from a perspective that you didn't consider before, and that's what I kind of want to go for some of these videos. Maybe not this one. This one I might want to go, more lighter. But with this one, I want to pretend that we know somehow that oh, hello, Saturn Sun. Welcome to my party on Friday. I want to pretend that we know for a fact that we live in a simulation. That someone, I had ideas where, I mean, not an egregore, I'm sorry, an avatar from a being that we respect a lot. And one of them I had an idea, which I don't know how I should really have vetted this better, but this is weird at this time of the year. We're at the solstice, where the sun has its most power, but we also have a full moon. So the idea of an avatar from the moon and the sun coming to us and telling us, hey, guess what? You live in a simulation. And every time you came to pray to us, we didn't give you this. The gifts that you achieved from praying to us were always yours. It was empowered by you, and our job was only to help guide you towards achieving your needs. That was my idea.
Okay, Lucky, I gotta stop you, man.
Absolutely.
Hi, everyone. I'm Courtney. Glad to be here. Happy Friday. Thanks, everybody, for coming in the chat. Um, you're all good, man. Um,
I'm really not.
okay. First of all, before we even get into. No, you're really not. First of all, I have to say, I just noticed that you cut your goatee off. Okay, that's a bit of a change and shock for me.
Yes.
Also, the turtle above you is very distracting, as in, what is coming out of that turtle?
That's a Guinness sitting on its back.
Got it. Okay, cool. I'm groovy with that. Now, if I heard you correctly,
Oh, yeah. We can go over this in detail.
if I heard you correctly, first you came to the thought of if we're in a simulation, it's not like those that we might worship or pray to. They're just you came to this kind of conversation, this hypothetical conversation between the sun and the moon and a human. Let's say Lucky, the sun and the moon. I'm repeating this just so everybody's on the same page. So you're in a conversation with the sun and the moon, and both the sun and the moon say, hey, Lucky, all this stuff that you manifested, all that stuff that you asked us for, and it was provided, didn't come from us. It came from you. Because you are in a simulation manifesting yourself. Are we all on the same page?
Exactly.
Okay.
Basically, I wanted to have some beings that you would trust unequivocally, that if they came to you, you would say, oh, all right, now I understand. It's a little bit of a shock, but someone you would trust, and not a normal human being. Someone, a little bit above humans, not above, but different than normal day-to-day humans, sort of thing. Someone that you would go, oh, okay, thank you.
Okay, so trust as in you would believe what they say and not just take it with a grain of salt, but like truly take it as this is what it is. Okay. Okay. So that was your thought to get to tonight?
The idea is that so this is a thought experiment, like a movie or like a TV show, where you know now 100% that, oh, I live in a simulation and I can manifest anything that I put my mind to.
Okay. Okay. So we're all on the same page. I'm sure we're all following this. So what's the question, or what's the dialogue about, like how would you handle that? Like so I guess that, because I guess I'm just taking this over. Lucky, if you had those thoughts, like if you thought of all of this to bring up this topic, you had to have sat with, okay, what would I do then?
More to the point of, where do my obligations end? So there are going to be people who also manifest their reality, but they don't know it. And there are others who are just in our lives, living their normal life, who cannot change the reality. So we're interacting with some who can change the reality, but others, more importantly, who cannot change the reality. And what is our obligation to those who have no control over the reality?
So those that are is the ability to control the reality, is that based on awareness of the fact that you can?
No, unfortunately, the ability to control your reality comes from an inherent belief in yourself. That I actually have this written down. So as long as you believe in yourself, the more you believe in yourself, the more you can control your reality. The more self-doubt you have in yourself, the more fear you have, the less you can control your reality, except where you can control and manifest small negative things, but that's a side thing.
Well, yeah, but Lucky, I gotta interrupt for a moment though, babe, because you have two different things going on there as to with the awareness. You gotta trust some kind of deity to believe what they're saying, and then you gotta believe in yourself. So you're saying these are two factors as to being able to manifest your reality or create the reality.
Well, the deities want you to believe in yourself more, to give you the impetus to say, yes, you control your reality. We don't have the power to control your reality, but you do. Because, again, sometimes we don't trust in ourselves. And this was a last, push over the finish line to fully trust in yourself and your abilities.
So do you not believe, or maybe you do believe, I don't know, I guess I'm posing the question, do you think that people are just creating all the time, aware of it or not?
Yes.
Even if they don't believe in themselves?
Oh boy.
I think the difference here is, Lucky.
No, you didn't let me finish though.
Okay, go ahead.
You laughed, but you didn't let me finish.
Go ahead.
I'm saying you have to believe in what you're trying to manifest. So people who believe that negative things happen, bad luck happens, that bad luck will happen. The more you believe in what's going to happen, will happen.
Right. So what you're talking about is creating. I don't even want to use the word manifest. Creating, the world that you want. opposed to not being aware of it and just creating out of ignorance.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. And these entities came to you to get you to focus on what you want rather than being diverted by, the negative self-talk, which might
How
be.
does that go? How does that tie into? I mean, you open this up with, well, where would my obligations end? What is that? Where does that tie in?
Because everything you manifest, you're going to affect the reality and the others who live in that reality, whether they know they control it or not. And you don't know who control the reality or not. You only know that you can control your reality for a fact.
I guess I'm. I guess maybe I'm stuck on the word of obligation. Because why are we? I guess give me an example as to why use the word obligation there. Like responsible for what you create because it affects others. Our actions and manifestations, quote unquote, affect others.
Yes. And also,
So
yes, that's to the point.
that's interesting. I would say responsible, and you say obligation. That's interesting.
So why is obligation a difficult? Maybe it's the definition of the word obligation.
It is because for me, I'm not obligated to anyone.
Oh.
I'm not obligated to anyone. Period.
Huh.
I might choose, but I'm not obligated to anyone. So, but am I responsible? Yes. Am I aware? Yes. Am I aware that my actions affect others? Am I manifesting affects others? Yes, but I am not obligated to a single being. Other than the earth, I'm obligated to the earth. That's the sole point of being here. But I don't, that's, so it threw me off when you said the word obligation.
Well, I'm going on to the last week when you were talking about grief and grief for the
Okay.
world and those around you and how
Oh,
and
okay.
and if the grief is for those around you, are you responsible because you know you can control your reality and impact their reality? So, I mean,
I'm responsible, yes, for how my light shines. I'm responsible for my actions. I'm responsible for, but if it's received, not responsible. What is done with it, not responsible. I'm only responsible for me knowing, being responsible for myself and how everything is sent out into the energy. But what happens after that, I'm not responsible and I'm not obligated. So
okay.
like when we were talking about the grief part, it's because my heart pains for the fact that take this exact scenario. If we are creating all the time, ignorantly or with awareness, if we're creating all the time, it grieves me to know that this is what the humans are choosing, that this is what humans choose. Right? That's where the grief comes from.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's in a mass, it's in a, collective grief. It's not a this person and that person. Yeah, and I'm not obligated. It's more a responsibility. I see because the word obligation for a very long time has negative connotations to it. It's like it's a rule. It's a rule.
It's a
Opposed
force.
to choice, which is responsibility.
Okay, I
Right.
understand. Obligation is
Like mandatory
obligation is mandatory while responsibility is a choice. I see.
choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So obligation would be black and responsibility would be in the gray area, and it could move back and forth
Move back and forth, right.
because black and
Yeah.
white make things in one or 0 1
Right.
plus or minus, just make it. Yeah, I understand. So
Okay, so now I'm on the total page that you're presenting. It took that for me to get to be like, huh? What's going on here?
Okay.
So,
I just want to say hello, Papa Joe. Thank you for coming. And I
oh,
think someone else came in too. Samir, I just say hi, Samarian son. Yep, yeah, I get with everybody. But thank you for coming, everybody. And my little mind experiment.
yes.
Samarian son, we cannot be responsible for others in what we choose to be.
Yeah.
Oh, in marriage, we're responsible for each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not obligated. We just work out the kindness. I understand already. Yeah. Yeah.
I see that Papa Joe said, if we're in a marriage or a partnership, what have you, kids, that kind
Yes.
of thing, that we're responsible for each other in that way. And I do agree to that. Still a choice. That's like constantly every year on our anniversary, that's literally just the only thing we do. We just say, "Hey, do I still choose you? Do you still choose me? All right, cool, groovy." And like this morning was kind of chaotic. My husband lost his wallet. This whole thing, right? Like it was a whole thing. Trust me, it was a thing. Um, so be it. Did I jump right in and start, helping and doing things and whatnot? Yes. But that is a choice of I'm choosing to help. I'm choosing to be responsible in this relationship. I'm choosing because we know plenty of people that they don't choose every day. They neglect relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I still see that, and I like that. I mean, because when we were talking about it, I thought of partnership, children, right? And like Lucky, you would think that being a father, like you're obligated to your child,
Mm-hmm.
to teach your child, raise your child, right? It's more being responsible with it. It really is because it's an everyday choice.
I can understand that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so where are we at now, Lucky? Where are we at? We're in the Matrix. We're in the Matrix. I don't know what that sound is.
Me neither. It might be my phone. Oh my God, you pain. I turned off the sound and it came back on again just to annoy me. I don't know why it was ringing though. That's another weird thing. I don't know. It's gone now.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Yeah.
Happy
Oh,
Friday. We're going to get back on track here.
also, hello, Seeker of Tooth, Shelley. Thank you for coming, Shelley. She's working in the yard. I
Oh,
forgot to.
got it.
Yeah, because Lori Elderkin came in early and said hi to her and happy. Yeah, okay. I think I said hi to everyone. So it's just basically the idea of because there was always that question of oh, there's always that thing: do we live in a simulation? We don't live in a simulation, back and forth. And I just want to go with the idea of now I know I live in a simulation. So what do me as a person do? What do you as a person do when you realize you live in the simulation and you now know you can create your reality?
I think a good question to go with this too is let's say that a higher being told you this and you trust and you believe it. You believe in yourself. And then when you get that information, I wonder, does it automatically instill obligation / responsibility? Or do you sit there for a moment and go, wow, well, what the hell do I want? Do I want a Lamborghini? Do I want, a big old house with a nice pool? And like, what would the average person, how would they respond?
And more to the fact of what would in you prevent you from being able to manifest everything, because that would be shake things up. If you can manifest anything in your thoughts, you just start boom, boom, boom manifesting things. So there's got to be a way of controlling it, and what would controlling it? And the only thing I have is the self-doubt, because I think the self-doubt is put into us so we do control what we manifest.
I think it goes back to what you were saying of like if you believe. Like if you believe something bad is going to happen and it'll probably happen. I think it's more so what we focus on. So like even like take here's an example. You know, they love it in the church that it talks about money constantly in the Bible, right? Well, all the references about how, you know, money's the root of all evil, money is this, money is that. It's really basically trying to say if you're focused on that, it's a bad thing. So you could be dirt poor. And if you're focused on that, it's still a bad thing. Do you see what I'm like? So I think it has to do with what our brains, because we always have thoughts. We always have thoughts in and out, in and out. I was just singing to the plants when I was watering them and talking to them about it, or talking to the plants. Like, that's not gonna. Is it gonna love the plants and help the plants? Sure, but is that like something that's gonna manifest? Right? No, it's not. All of our thoughts manifest. I think it's the focus that makes the difference. That's why they talk about meditation and focused meditation. This is the whole point of those things, the dream boards, or, you know, manifesting boards, or isn't that what they're called?
The dream boards and
The dream boards. Well, the point of that, and that's what's so funny about those things, is you know, you put all your pictures there, you put all this stuff that you want, a new car, a house, a dog, a husband, whatever you want. You know, ladies are really into dream boards. I know men that are into them too. And you make it, and then it usually is put away somewhere and it's never even looked at. The whole point of those things is to put them somewhere that you are going to be able to visibly sit and stare at it and focus on it. Focus on this section. Oh, I want that house. Focus just on the house for a long time. Then focus over here for a long time. All it is a prop to help people focus on what they want. So that's how it really works, you know, but we make them. They're a fun time, and then they, you know, get discarded. You know, we put them somewhere, and nobody focuses on what they want, and then they don't get what they want. You see, you understand? Yeah.
Yes. I understand 100%. Yes.
You ever made one of those dream boards?
I've never made a dream board. I rather write down notes, and I put them on a special manifesting like altar. It's a small little thing where it has little crystals on it, and it's simple to the point of, I think a dream board is too much of a casting net, while putting a simple word. Okay, this is exactly what I want, and, you know, just to go that in, you know, kind of like it's targeted. It's like shooting arrows at a target. You may not get to the bullseye, but you're going to get close.
Yeah, there's those things called prayer boxes and
Yes.
and things like that. Yeah. I wonder though, you know, it's interesting because you started this open with like, if a deity came to you and said, listen, I know you think it's me and I really appreciate it because I'm a deity and so I'm, you know, I love being praised. But it's really you doing all the work. How would that throw people off, as in, because the reason I'm thinking this is it is innate in humans. It is completely ingrained and innate in us. It is it's just in us to have to worship something. Humans worship. And it's probably because it's been going on for so long that, you know, we don't really get rid of it easily. And those who even get rid of it, let's say, take a long pause, well, then they really miss worshiping something. So I'm posing, if the deity is saying, hey, it ain't me, it's you, I wonder what that would do to the deities. and due to the human consciousness as far as worship and belief structure. Because then what do we do then? If we learn like, oh wow, we are a god. Oh, I'm a god just like that one that I thought was giving me everything, but it's really me giving me everything. I am all powerful. How do we then, does it become that we turn it inside and we start worshiping ourselves as individuals?
I think you're missing one little tiny piece of personal responsibility. A lot of people need to take responsibility for themselves, and I don't think they're ready for it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm still at, what if just Joe Blow, Joe Smoke, standing there, his deity comes down and says, hey, it's not me, you're the one doing it. How would that human respond? I think we would have a huge, I think there'd be people that would go, whoa, that's a lot of responsibility. And then I think there'd be a lot of people that, try to manifest everything they want and just totally mess up. I think then there'd be people that it would rock their worship. They would rock their faith system. And then what?
I don't know where you're going with that. I mean, you're then what? Because you're worried about the deity, because the deity.
I'm not worried about the deities.
Okay.
No, human race of. Imagine. Okay, well now, many humans. Oh, I guess I'm the god. I'm a god, but they lack the responsibility. They're selfish, narcissistic, like many of the deities. Then we're even in a worse situation. I'm just wondering how humans would react.
But this is not about all humans. This is about you.
It's about me. Oh, I keep forgetting. Like, you always got to remind me about that. I'm never thinking about me. I'm just.
This is about
me.
This is what you're going to do. You're told.
This is what I'm going to do.
You don't need to worship this entity because it said, I'm telling you, you can do everything in your power. Or do you already know this? And that's actually, there's a couple people. Hello, Smoking in G Shop. Hello, John,
that's
Max
so funny.
Vision Remote Viewing Center.
This entire time, Lucky, I wasn't even thinking about me. I was only thinking about other people and how they would respond or what they would do. Or you got to remind me of this stuff at the beginning that, Courtney, we're talking about you. Okay, so what's the question? How would I respond if that happened?
How would you respond if you're told you live in a simulation, 100% you live in a simulation, and everything you put your mind to, you will create. You create your reality.
How would I yeah.
Yes, and where do your responsibilities end with other people? And would you interact with other people? Would you think about how you can influence other people to make their lives better? What would you do with that power?
Well, okay. We're going to take this. Okay, slow down. Because now it's on me. So it's like, what's Courtney going to do? Your first question was if a deity of some sort came and said, hey, Courtney, you're in a simulation and you control what's going on here. This time you said by your thoughts. That wasn't, I don't know if that's, so if a deity came down and said, hey, Courtney, you're in a simulation, you're controlling what's going on here by your thoughts. My first response would go, oh shit. Because of my thoughts, right? But I know that, like I said, there needs to be focus there. It's not just all your random thoughts, right? I mean, heck, that's not how this works. And then I go, okay. Well, I kind of already knew that. Thank you, deity. And then something about the limit of my responsibility, like, or the amount of how would I be responsible? What was the next question, Lucky? So that's how I would answer the deity. Yeah, I already know. Cool, thanks. You want to have some, let's have some coffee. Let's just sit and talk for a minute.
Okay, so what would you do with that? Would you influence other people's lives? How
I,
far would your responsibility be for other people?
it would be as much as in that moment and in that day that I would choose. I mean, some days I'm intentionally trying to help and influence and shine light. Like I said, all quote unquote light workers, all they have to do is shine, because light reflects light, and all they have to do is shine. Where it goes and what happens is not up to them, right? So if I'm living in an intentional day that day, knowing that I create, yeah, I'll shine. I'll try to do this. I'll try to help where I can. I'll try to have conversations, what have you. Let's say I'm being human, and I'm, having all my human emotions and experiences, and I'm not having the best a day. Do I still know that I'm creating? Yes. But I'm also giving myself allowance to be human. And so, do I still live out my day? Yeah. Do I maybe not talk to so many people? And there are probably people in the chat that could attest to this, that if I go quiet for a reason. Because if I'm not doing so well, I'm not going to be out. I'm not going to be exposing others to that. I stay inside. Kind of like when everybody had the vid. You stay inside. So it's a choice, but we are still also human. We're all having this experience. We all have our ups and downs. I will tell you, this morning, looking for my husband's wallet, I was not in the best of places. I hadn't even really had a full cup of coffee yet, right? So it is what it is. And then you give yourself grace for it, as you would give other people grace, knowing that they're creating too at the same time, out of ignorance or awareness. So yeah, that's how, because it's interesting how you pose the question as into like the boundaries of my responsibility or the boundaries of obligations or something to that matter, when I have all the right and authority to still be a living being human that is full of complexities and has days off as well. So I think we don't give ourselves, as we talk about all this esoteric stuff, I don't think we remember that enough to allow ourselves to be human. Give ourselves the grace to mess up, have mistakes, be a mistake, whatever it may be, even if we are creating all the time. So, because to be conscious of that you are creating all the time, people can go through a period, and I think I did for a moment, of hyper focused on it. Hyper focused on the fact that you're creating all the time with your thoughts, your breath, your words, that it can become too overwhelming, and then where's the humanness? The humanity, you lose it before you even begin to understand it. Am I making sense here, Lucky?
Yes. There's a lot to it. That's the problem, and sometimes I wonder. Because sometimes I can manifest, boom, boom. Well, other times it's like, I didn't manifest all this shit in my life. What's going on? But then it's like, yes, you did. Sorry, sport. You did manifest this, and you have to work on this. This is
Did you
yours.
manifest it out of complaining about things and so more comes, or manifest it out of, I mean, there's so many ways,
Hmm.
There's so many ways.
Right, and that's the problem with the whole sometimes just living a normal life and not having, and being involved in the TV and the news and everything like the others, and not being aware of all this seems so much easier.
Yes, 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 I think so. You do pose an interesting question, so that's why I was always thinking about other people because um, there needs to be balance.
Well, yeah, but I think very few people are ready to take responsibility for their own lives once they realize that they do manifest their reality, and those that are responsible are the ones who, you know eh, that's where the obligation comes. You have so much responsibility, it kind of goes into obligation into creating a better world for everyone.
Here's the thing, I really, I, okay, I see where you're coming from and I see what you mean by that. And I think people, I think they're more intimidated by it. Because with the acknowledgement, with the awareness of you are creating all the time, and that's why we live intentionally, it's intimidating because, oh my goodness, people pleasing, I can't mess up, my actions do affect everyone, that sort of thing. It's so intimidating to others that, yeah, they would want to not expose themselves and ignore it again. At the same time, if someone can establish balance and establish being just for themselves, because the thing is when you finally figure out that, yeah, you are creating all the time, you are creating this your bubble of the matrix that is attached to all the other bubbles, right? um the balance needs to be there, but it also has to be with just. And when I say just, I don't mean so much justice, just as in, if you know you can just manifest and manifest and manifest, well, then you need to be right sized and right wise about what you manifest. You don't live in the abundance. I always love that word when it's attached to manifesting, because abundance just means more of. And so people misuse that all the time, because abundance of more crap can come your way too. Like, use your words correctly. But in that
Actually,
go
you
ahead,
said you
sweetheart.
love that word abundance. No,
Oh,
you
I was
hate
being,
that word.
yes, I was
Yeah, you
being
hate that word
sarcastic
abundance.
there.
You
Yes, I
gotta
was
mean
being
what you say.
sarcastic. Yes, I was being sarcastic. No, I hate that word. As
Go
in,
ahead.
it's a fine word. The word is fine. As in, sorry, my hair is bothering me in my face. The word is fine. It's the fact that everybody uses that term, as in, they're talking about financial gain, they're talking about prosperity, they're talking about whatever, abundance and love, they're talking about grand love. There's so many words to use when it's like they just use that flat pocket word of abundance when all it means is more of. And so if you don't back it up with any kind of good intention or better words, you're just going to get more of the same old, same old. Like, it
Right.
drives me crazy.
Abundance is a value. It's a modifier. It can't stand by itself. It
Yes.
needs something else with it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's the point. You cannot say thank you for the abundance. You have to say thank you for the abundance of joy. Thank you for the abundance of happiness, which, God, I wish I had some of that. Thank you for the abundance of peace. Honestly,
Exactly.
I think that's what I want to go for, abundance of peace. I just want peace in my life just for a little while. I think I'm gonna make them.
So, Lucky, let's hypothetically say that this is the Matrix. You're in your little bubble. Your bubble's connected to everybody else's bubble, and you want peace.
Yes.
Okay. How would you get that?
How would I get peace?
How would you get peace?
Having all my needs met, um, without too much. Like winning the lottery would not bring me peace. Winning a small, winning the grand prize would not bring peace, but winning a small lottery winning would bring me peace. Um, you know, finding the right car because now my car's totaled. I gotta get a new one. Finding the right car, and have my wife stop sending me all these cars. I'm like, what? What are you doing to me? You know.
That is, I'm not against
No.
that, Lucky. That
What?
is what I meant about just. Because that stuff will not bring you peace.
What the hell are you talking about? Go on. I've lost
That's,
focus.
yeah. So, maybe I shouldn't use the word just. That's for me. That's a personal word that I use for myself. So, you could win the lottery and you could pay off the debts. You could definitely get a new car. You could maybe even have a breather at the work situation. You could maybe have something like that, right? Out of financial gain like that. That is not peace. That's peace of mind for a respite in time. But peace is an inner energy. So the money will come and go. Cars will come and go. Jobs will come and go. All of that will come and go. Peace, not peace of mind, not a respite from the insanity, the craziness, the misfortunes. So that's what I meant about it is actually very intimidating for many people when they start to actually understand you don't always to be responsible with something like this is a bigger scale. It's to understand the human existence as to what do I truly need, what do I truly want, and not these ridiculous finite, little things. Those are the byproducts. Manly P. Hall talks about this all the time, by the way, folks. You can read up on Manly P. Hall. Happiness, peace, all of these things that are our birthright as humans, right? Joy, peace, love, right? Safety, freedom, all these birthright things that are for us, they don't come from these little monetary blessings, let's say. They are a byproduct to us changing our thought patterns and behaviors and really expansion of consciousness, but truly, so it's I'm not trying to pick on you, Lucky.
Oh no.
I'm
There's no
in,
picking out. This is an open conversation.
yeah,
There's no judgment. This is anything you say will never be insulting. It's all about I need perspective, and everything you say gives me that perspective. No matter how may you think it might come out negative, it'll never come out negative towards me. How's that?
right. So it's like take like the homeless man who is at complete peace and has absolutely nothing. Do we normally think that they're crazy, and they might be in certain parts. Different concept, different thing. Peace can be everlasting when all of our monetary stuff is not. So with manifestations, we tend to focus on the items. In creation, we tend to focus on the items because creation, then we can see it, we can feel it, it's tangible, it's there. Opposed to going past that and looking past that and going into, well, if I do have peace, love, joy, happiness, that is a byproduct of my consciousness, well, then all those other things will just flow to me, opposed to get those things in order to have the peace, love, and happiness. Do you see the flip-flop, the difference?
Yeah. It's
So my vision board in 20, and it was like the only one I ever made, in, I think it was like 2011, 2012, something like that. I didn't have any pictures. I just had consciousness stuff that I wanted. You know, whatever it was, I just wrote down expansion, read this, or, you know, inner peace, for longer than 3 days at a time. You know, I was more intentional with trying to manifest things to change the inside so the outside could change.
So your vision board was just to manifest inner peace.
That's it. Yeah, whatever, and whatever. I think mine was not so much inner peace at the time, but it was higher consciousness stuff, which for me leads to inner peace. But let's say you're doing peace.
Did you achieve it?
Yes, I can sustain inner peace.
But at the vision board, did the vision board allow you to attain what you were? Did the vision board work for you?
I think so, in the fact that it made me continuously remember that was a goal. And so therefore I would focus, and therefore I would...
But then you stopped using them.
Yeah, oh no, I'm not opposed to them. I'm opposed to people creating them and then putting them in a drawer somewhere.
Oh, yes,
I had mine, like, right on the wall where everybody could see, because I just didn't care, because it's my vision board, right? That's what they're called, vision boards. I'm opposed to people creating them, then throwing them in a drawer somewhere and not understanding the purpose behind how they work. And then bitch and complain about how it didn't work. Well, you're not doing it. That's what I'm...
No.
Yeah.
But my point is that you had a vision board, you used it, it worked, and then you stopped using them. Why?
Because I know I manifest.
So you were done. Okay. Yes.
Well, well, what was on the board, I definitely achieved.
Okay.
From 2011 or something, yeah.
No.
I definitely, yeah.
You just, because you found other tools. You found better tools after that. That's what I was leading to, is unfortunately.
Yeah.
I trying to drag you into, well, you had it, it succeeded, then you stopped using them because you had better tools later.
Yes. Yeah.
There's a lot to this, but I think I've got a new perspective that I needed.
Yeah. And you can even bring it into... See, in Hermetics, I will tell you, there is that whole, like, as within, so without. That was added way later, has nothing to do with Hermes, but it was there to help people understand so within, so without. So oftentimes, everyone, including myself, I am manifesting what is inside, not what I need around me, not like I need this, I'm manifesting, I'm creating from within, not from without in. So the out influences it, the outside influences us, but what is actually of the creation in humans comes from within. So that's why we are creating all the time, and that's why it gets complicated, and that's why we get responses like I'm sure you did of, yeah, buddy, you did manifest all this, didn't you, Lucky? Because we're manifesting and creating from within. So, yeah, I agree. Centurion Sun, I totally agree with that.
Yeah, and hello, Milky Way Soul Tribe. Thank you for coming.
Yeah. Yeah, hi everybody in the chat. Happy Friday.
Yes, happy Friday. I'm not the best at this.
We're still learning all the tech, all the little tech stuff.
Yes, and I'm playing with it, and but yeah, Pa Joe and Milky Way Soul Tribe.
Lucky, now I get to flip it on to you, man.
Well, so Red Honey 9. Red Honey 9 was here. I don't know who that is, but thank you for coming, Red Honey 9.
Yes, yes.
Okay, yes. Now flip it. Yes.
Flip it. I'm going to flip it onto you. So let's say for you personally, a deity came down and was like, hey, you're the powerful one in this scenario because you're creating your own little matrix bubble. What would you do about that, Lucky?
If a deity came to me, I would want to sit for a little while just to talk. I mean, just
Exactly. Let's have some coffee, right?
get their perspective of,
Right.
and I would love a non-biased opinion. I mean, because I would figure that the deity would be unbiased, or mostly unbiased, because they're a deity, so they're going to have their own mindset. So,
Yeah.
but again, you have to take everything with a grain of salt. But I would love to sit with a deity who was outside of the human condition and get their perspective. And if they said, hey, I only got 5 minutes, let alone time for a deity, let's take that off the table. I would say, you're here to tell me this, and I thank you for that. But I'd also like to know your perspective of the human condition from an unbiased, and what you think of me, so how I can get better towards achieving this goal that you've come to help me achieve.
Lucky, where did you came up with the obligation part? Is that because that was one of your streams of thought of like, well, geez, if this is true and accurate, then I would be responsible, or I would have so many obligations to just humanity as a whole because we're all connected.
I, as one person, have so many obligations to so many different people: work, home life, family life. It's unending. So yeah, that is probably one of my inner fears, which probably is something that I need to address. Let alone responsibilities, I turn to obligations. So maybe I should pull back and make those obligations more like responsibilities, and understand that responsibilities are gray, obligations are black, and I don't need everything to be black and white. I can go gray most of my life.
You know what? I think I even started using. I mean, I've had a million different mantras or sayings, cliches that I used at different times. I think even during that time of like the vision board, it had to been 2010, 2011, somewhere in there. I used to repeat to myself, and I still do quite often. I tell myself, like you, as if I'm talking to myself, you. But I say, you do what you can when you can. Because I think a lot of us overextend ourselves. And a lot of us, if we aren't able to get things done or, do everything perfectly, right? Or pleasing people or whatever it may be, we then beat ourselves up about it. And so I started saying that to myself a long time ago. You do what you can when you can. And that's it. And that's it. I really stopped overly extending myself to, and then let's say I do in today's world, because this is my job. I have stuff going on. Well, let's say I do overextend myself. I only allow that to happen for 2 weeks. And then I don't. Right? Like let's say I'll say the word, I'm catching up. That I give myself time frames. Because sometimes you do. Sometimes you have more obligations. Sometimes you have this and that. 2 weeks. That's all it gets. And then if I can't get to it, I can't get to it. Practicing that, Lucky, changed a lot of the inside, which then manifested a whole lot of difference of my outside of being human Giving myself more the grace.
Hmm.
Yeah. I don't think people do that enough for themselves.
True.
Actually, I was sitting with, I don't know if she's still in the chat, a happy hippie holistic that we were sitting together in a group, I think last Saturday or something, and it was at the tail end of those 2 weeks. Those 2 weeks of like, I gotta play catch up. There was a lot that happened. 2 weeks. She was at the tail end of that when I was around her, and somebody was saying something. I said, "Well, I go dead silent the first week of the month. I do. I go dead silent. It's just what I do." And a happy hippie she said, and oh yeah, and she's real clear to others that she goes silent as well. So it's establishing like good boundaries. It's knowing your own limits, right? At least as for now, and all of this stuff can like develop a healthier inside that then automatically starts changing the outside. And when the outside starts changing, it starts influencing more of the inside. And it's just this beautiful exchange of energy that eventually you use in a different way to manifest and create. You just use it differently. I think on the onset, it's probably very intimidating to people.
That is true. That is all
Yeah.
very true.
So you do what you can when you can. Right,
I think
Lucky?
that's the important thing that I have to attain focus on.
Yeah. Yeah. Because life tends to be rushing us too much. So, in this scenario, though, as we only have just a couple more minutes, do you still think that the universe has an influence then on what happens here? If it's us humans creating?
I did not put that into perspective. Oh my God, that actually puts a whole different spin on everything, I believe. Holy
Well, that's
shit.
okay. That's okay. You don't even have to answer right now. We,
No,
we only
because
got a few minutes left, anyways.
that because one of my affirmations is I live in a friendly, supportive universe that loves me and wants me to be happy and succeed. But if I am manifesting everything, then why am I praying to the universe? Why am I manifesting with the universe if the
Oh my.
universe?
Why are you not using your I am statements? I am healthy. I am happy. I am beautiful. Do you know I do that every day in the shower? My hand. Everybody's like, she does a lot in the shower. Every day, hand to heart. I am healthy. I am happy. I am beautiful. Use your I am statements, folks. Yes, use your I am statements because it's great to give kudos to the universe, but the universe is within as well. So we are the great I am once we are all together, right? And I am a fraction of that collective, so I am the great I am. So therefore use your I am statements, right, Lucky?
Yeah, true, 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 true.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
And so I am, and then whatever you manifest. I am whatever you think you need. I am. So every day, I am happy, healthy, and beautiful, Lucky. And sure shit, I am.
Sitting on keys that just this minute decided to influence me.
Oh, well, that's it. They said, remember that. They said, remember your keys. We're saying, we're going to jab you right now so you
I've been
pay attention to this.
I've been sitting on these freaking keys for an hour, no effect at all. Then all of a sudden it hurts like a mother. Okay, I am statements. I am
I am
statements,
statements.
and
Yes.
manifesting
The
peace.
power of I am within. Amen. Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
Mm, I guess that's a good way to sum things up. The I am statements. Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. And remember, all this was just open thoughts and considering anything we presented. It's not personal advice or psychological advice or medical advice. It's all just for you to consider and look into it for your own benefit.
Yeah. Thanks, Lucky. Happy Friday, everybody.
Uh,
I'm Courtney, by the way. New folks in the chat. Nice to meet you. I'm Courtney from Stars of the Morning Light.
and find her channel and subscribe to her. Later if you're watching this, which I should have started with that. I'm getting
It's
better. So
fine. We
I have a
are.
list of things that I got to do, and I don't do any of them, unfortunately.
It's fine. We let it all out and don't care which way it goes. We're groovy. Yeah.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful life. Be at peace.
Bye.